Welcome to the energetic ecosystem. Welcome back to the Church of New Enchantment. I am Peter Sousa, and I am so grateful to be with you on this Monday morning as we move through the first full week of April. In our wellness ministry, we do things a little bit differently than the rest of the world. We do not view your body as a machine that is broken or something that just needs to be oiled. We view you as an energetic ecosystem where everything is connected. Today, I want to dive into one of the most important parts of that ecosystem, your heart. We are going to look at how to move from a state of feeling heavy and isolated into a state of openness and flow. The heart is a storage unit. Most of us were taught that the heart is just a biological pump that moves blood through our veins. But in the tradition of spiritual herbalism, we know that the heart is actually an energetic storage unit. It is the place where you keep your joy and your passion, but it's also the place where you park your pain. When you go through a rough patch or a loss, that energy does not just disappear. It physically parks itself in your chest. If you have been feeling a heaviness or a tightness lately, it is because your heart is holding on to a weight it was never meant to carry forever. Astrologically, your heart is ruled by the sun and the sign of Leo. If you think about the sun, it does not hide its light. It naturally wants to radiate outward in every direction. Your heart is exactly the same way. It is designed to be your internal sun. But when we get hurt, we do the most human thing possible. We build walls. We create a defensive perimeter to make sure we do not get hurt like that again. While those walls might feel safe for a little while, they eventually slow down your emotional circulation and make you feel spiritually isolated. The courage to stay soft. In the Buddhist tradition, there is a lot of talk about the soft spot of the heart. It is the idea that our true bravery comes from our ability to stay soft even when the world is hard. When we harden our hearts, we think we are being strong, but we are actually just making ourselves brittle. By choosing to stay present with our feelings, we allow that hardness to melt. We realize that our ability to feel is not a weakness, but our greatest spiritual strength. This is the first step in moving back into the flow of life and allowing your light to shine again. Reclaiming your Gnostic sovereignty. We often talk about Gnostic sovereignty, which is the direct knowledge that you carry an internal spark of the divine. This spark is your true identity, and it is completely separate from your wounds or your past. When you are lost in grief, you forget about this spark, and you start to believe that you are your sadness. But sovereignty means remembering that you are the architect of your own destiny. You have the right to experience joy and beauty without guilt. You do not need anyone else to give you permission to take your walls down. The medicine of the Hawthorn berry. In our book, Spiritual Herbalism, we look at earthly allies that help us do this deep heart work. One of our strongest friends is the hawthorn berry. Physically, it is a powerhouse for your cardiovascular health, but energetically, it is the ultimate heart protector. Hawthorn acts like a spiritual crowbar that helps to break down those thick walls we build around our emotions. It gives your heart the support it needs to feel safe enough to open up again. It reminds your system that you can be protected without being closed off from the world. The softening power of the rose. We also work with the spirit of the rose to help soften the hard edges of our grief. Rose energy is very high frequency and very gentle. It does not force its way in. It simply reminds your body that it is safe to receive love again. When you are feeling unlovable or overwhelmed by sorrow, rose acts like a warm blanket for your soul. It encourages you to have self-compassion and to stop being so hard on yourself. By inviting the spirit of the rose into your tea or your space, you are telling your heart that it is finally okay to bloom. Calling on the frequency of Chamuel. When the ache in your chest feels like too much to handle on your own, we call on divine healers like Archangel Chamuel. You do not have to be religious to work with this energy. You can think of Chamuel as a massive, pure frequency of peace and restoration. Chamuel is the angel of peaceful relationships and healing the wounded heart. When you feel spiritually isolated, Chamuel steps in to remind you of your infinite worth and helps you breathe through the pain. This frequency helps to clear the static of loneliness and replaces it with a sense of connection. The Open Heart Ritual. I want to give you a simple ritual you can use this week to help release that heaviness in your chest. Brew a warm cup of tea and add a few dried rose petals or some hawthorn berries. If you have a piece of rose quartz or rhodonite, hold it close to your heart. Take a slow, deep breath and feel your chest expand. Imagine a soft pink light filling your heart and melting the walls you have built. Silently invite the energy. Archangel Chamuel, soften my heart and help me release this grief. Exhale fully and imagine the tension leaving your body. Consistency in your daily sanctuary. At the CNE Wellness Ministry, we believe in consistency over intensity. You do not need to spend 2 hours a day in meditation to be spiritual. 5 minutes of pure, grounded intention is more powerful than an hour of distracted prayer. Pick one heart ally this week and make it part of your daily routine. Create a small sanctuary in your home, even if it is just a clean shelf with a candle and your tea. When you stand in that space, you are telling your body, this is where we heal. Growing together in the circle of light. We are all part of a living system of renewal, and our hearts are connected in a way that the world does not always see. When you do the work to open your heart, you are not just helping yourself, you are clearing the air for everyone around you. Your warmth becomes a frequency that helps others feel safe enough to lower their own walls. In our church, we support each other as we move from isolation back into the flow of life. We are building a new world where love and passion are our primary languages. A final blessing for your heart. As you walk through this week, I want you to look for the beauty in the small things. Do not be afraid to feel deeply, because that is how you know your internal spark is bright. Trust your gut and listen to the quiet voice of your heart as it leads you back toward the light. You are a sovereign soul and you deserve to be loved. May your heart be light and your spirit be resilient as you open up to the world. Thank you for being a part of the Church of New Enchantment. Peace be with you.